now tuning in to the Aaron Alexander Experience Podcast.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Aaron Alexander Experience Podcast. Blah, blah, blah. If you are listening to this somewhere and not watching it, then you'll notice the audio doesn't sound that great, but the audio is about to be awesome. The audio is about to be good. I just want to do a quick little intro here to explain to you guys what is going on with this episode. So what we are about to crack into is a podcast that I did with my students. I'm in an Airbnb in Paris right now and headed to Greece here in a couple of days. But we did a podcast with my students in London for the London boot camp. And the thing is, and the students are going to be disappointed to hear this, but the thing is that one of the microphones died about 30 minutes into the show. So, but that's okay. You know, that's just, it's how things go. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the 30 minutes with the students and post that. But I can't just give you guys a 30-minute episode. So then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to post a 20-minute Daygame deep dive that I have not posted anywhere yet. I've just been holding onto this piece of content, unsure with, you know, what I would do with it. So you're going to kind of be able to kind of crack into two separate, you know, forms of content essentially throughout this episode. And I think just overall, as I kind of always say on this podcast, if you're a dude who is actually going out and taking action or aspiring to, then you're going to find this all incredibly, incredibly valuable. So enjoy it. You know, it's going to be, this will be a good episode for you. So I think that I'll take it to being about close to an hour total, probably. And maybe I'll take some nuggets from the part of the podcast where one mic was working. If there was any nuggets from that part, maybe I'll splice that in as well. So just prepare yourself to listen to some good rants, some good advice, maybe some fun stuff. And then definitely when it comes to Daygame, the 20-minute deep dive is something that I just did a stream of consciousness about Daygame. And so I think that's going to be very, very valuable for you. And, you know, to that, and with all of this, I would just say, man, time's running out, right? I talk to guys sometimes and, you know, I just say to them, I say like, how long are you going to just live your life in fear of talking to women, right? Project to 20 years from now. Just imagine 20 years from right now. And you listen to this podcast at this time. You were watching my videos, my infields. You were very game aware at this time. Maybe you even tried it a little bit and kind of gave up. But you're going to look back 20 years from now and just say like, oh, thank God when I was young, I was afraid to talk to women. I mean, thank God. Thank God I was just always allowing my anxieties to destroy me. And I think it's cool to have some of the students on here because obviously I can sit here and like rant to you guys about my results and my success and my methods and all of that. But I do think it's good to have guys who are not, you know, killers yet, or that they're striving to be killers. I think it's good to hear from them. So overall, I think this is going to be very valuable. And I'm also just almost thinking, I'm thinking now too, like, you know, maybe I should just maybe every episode should just be a former student. Maybe every episode should just be a guy who's trying to get better at game. And then it almost kind of just turns into like a coaching session, right? Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Enjoy this episode. You guys rock. And listen for the next 30 seconds to 1 minute. I'm telling you right now. All right, I'm telling you right now, I'm probably going to flee the country at the end of this coming year, at the end of 2024, which is why I have stated several times now, this is my last year doing in-person coaching. I'm probably only going to be doing my mentorship moving forward and after 2024. So this is my last year doing in-person coaching. So look, I mean, you know, the boot camp's not free, but it's not crazy expensive. And, something I've always found is it's like, I look at different times in my life where, when it comes to like finances and stuff, right? I look at different times in my life where it was like, oh man, can I really afford to go on this trip? Can I really afford to go on this concert? All these different things where it's like, oh, can I really afford this? And I just like figure out a way to afford it, even if it wasn't like the most responsible decision at that time. But now I just have a string of like awesome memories from times where like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done the thing financially or whatever, but that money was going to go somewhere eventually, right? It's not like if I wouldn't have gone on, like I remember a 1 week trip I took to Miami where it wasn't for a boot camp or anything. I just felt like, dude, I need to go down to Miami and like fucking rage. It's like, I wouldn't have $1,500 more right now than if I wouldn't have gone on that trip. But I had several women that I had amazing experiences with. I have such a fond memory of that trip. So it's like, sometimes I talk to guys and they're like, yeah, I just don't know if like financially would be the best thing. Of course it is. Of course it is. You're going to look back at that time that you came out to New York, to Barcelona, to Los Angeles, to Austin, to Chicago. You're going to look back on that time and be like, dude, that was like one of the best weekends of my life. I learned a lot. You're probably going to end up using what you learned and the momentum you gained from that boot camp to actually hook up with women that are going to also provide so much memories and experiences for you. So yeah, man, I mean, I just, just something I wanted to put out there. But I mean, my coaching is just second to none. I mean, truly, these boot camps are beyond incredible. And I think you'll be able to hear that from, a couple of these students on this podcast here. So coachaaronalexander.com, and you can apply to, basically, I will reach out to you. I'm in Europe, so I'll hit you up on WhatsApp. And I'm just taking all the calls myself because I do have a lot of free time. I'm really just out here like between the boot camps I'm doing, I'm just gaming and having fun and traveling around. So I've been doing the calls myself. And yeah, man, I mean, and dude, real quick, bro. I mean, especially if you're in Europe and you can come to my Barcelona boot camps. I'm doing them on May 3rd and May 10th. Dude, if you are in Europe and you're listening to this right now, you must like immediately DM me on Instagram, Aaron Alexander Official, or just go to coachaaronalexander.com and submit the form, and then I'll be reaching out to you personally once I receive that. So that's about it, and enjoy this episode of the podcast. Sign up for my coaching. I swear to God, if you don't sign up for my quote... Okay, we're rolling? Yep. Okay, awesome. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Aaron Alexander podcast. We are out here in London right now. We just finished up a full weekend boot camp, and we're here in Covent Garden. This is where we did a good portion of the Daygame sessions, and it's just been wild, man. It's been good. So we've got some of the students here. We've got my assistant here who helped out this weekend. We just filmed some awesome infield. So I figured what we would do, guys, is just sort of bust into kind of talking about the boot camp, talking about various maybe things that happened this weekend, and just see what sort of comes up. So Jacob, why don't you just go ahead and start?
So
No, grab that.
Okay.
You guys are going to have to, we'll end up passing these around. Yeah, go ahead.
So because of work commitments, I was a bit late to the first session. And this is the first time I've seen Aaron in person. And just like the first time seeing him, it was just like the energy he brings to the place. Like completely like the whole, whatever street he's on or whatever bar he's in, it's just like, this is his bar, this is his street, and he's bringing you to the party. And it was just like so sick.
We went crazy Friday night out on the streets.
I know you guys warmed up first and you did your stuff, which I was feeling like a little bit like, oh, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch up with you guys, but it was just such a nice feeling, like coming into that bar straight away. Like I met Francesco last month. That was awesome. That was a really nice day, and me and Martin have been planning to meet up. Me and Marcus, sorry, bro. Me and Marcus. I've been planning. Yeah. I've been planning to meet for like a little while, but we're always busy. Our schedules never seem to even out. But so it was really amazing I really enjoyed it a lot.
Who was the hottest girl that you talked to this weekend?
Hottest girl I talked to. I did an approach earlier, just like that. That's a stupid answer.
Was it the? It wasn't
Yeah,
the mom
yeah.
I
daughter.
was hugging on him on the wall.
No, that wasn't the hottest girl.
Oh, you had hotter.
Yeah.
Definitely hotter.
It was hot.
Was it the mom daughter that you approached her a little bit ago, or a different one? The one with the scarf.
That was a scarf.
All right, this is dead air. Okay, so it's okay.
I'm just like, my mind has gone blank.
This is not good. This is not good content.
My mind's gone blank.
Okay.
My mind has gone blank.
Okay, but either way, so okay, yeah, and then so you made
There's a
out with
few.
you made out with that one
Yeah,
chick,
the one girl
the one
against the
night.
wall, yeah.
Now, you know what I think would be cool is if maybe you broke down how this instant date occurred last night.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. Did one of us toss you into that set? Really? Okay, pass that over to Marcus or Martin.
One of the
Who the fuck is Martin?
Okay, so how did the instant date occur last night with these two Italians?
Yeah, so Italian mother-daughter, and it was you, Aaron. You spotted. We were gaming in the evening, and we're just doing our thing, and Aaron's like, "Hey, quick, check her out." So literally, me and Jacob, we went to go and approach, and they ended up going outside this restaurant or pub/restaurant, and I was like, how am I gonna actually approach them from the front, because they were literally sideways on. So all I could do was literally go next to the entrance and double back on myself as if I was just coming out of the entrance, and I looked to my left and I just opened, and she was super receptive, and I think I complimented her, and so it was quite direct, but my approach must have been good, my vibe must have been good, and then Jacob jumped in and introduced himself, because it's like a mother-daughter, so he was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm Jacob," and he gave like a really strong like intro as well.
It was a mother-daughter?
Yeah. It
You
was
guys went on an instant date with a mother-daughter.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
man.
my God!
It was
But
amazing.
But there was something really good with you and the girl, the young
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
the young hot one.
Oh yeah.
You should
for
hold
real.
a picture up of her to the camera. No, I'm just playing.
You really should.
But maybe I'll post it. I mean, she's ridiculously hot. Maybe I can blur her face and add it.
She could be the thumbnail.
Yeah. So if you're listening on Spotify, get on the podcast. We'll throw up a blurred image of her.
No, this girl is insanely hot. Like amazingly tall, slim, great figure, like just legs to die for,
Yeah.
just amazing, but very refined as well. So I think Jacob mentioned something about that I was working there, so he was rolling in this joke, and she was playing with it. She was like, "Oh, do you recommend this place? Blah blah blah," and so eventually we just literally were like, and she was the one who suggested join us for some food and drinks inside.
Okay.
We want to go somewhere kind of lively, and this is a Sunday evening, so choices are pretty limited. But luckily I've been to that place before, so I realized when I walked in I'd been there before, and downstairs they have a rock venue, like a little rock venue. And so I asked the barman, like, if anyone's playing tonight, and he's like, yeah, they're playing right now. So I already knew, I was prepared to tell them, hey, by the way, come downstairs in a bit. In the meantime, so I go back to the table, I take their order, I pretend like I'm the waiter. So I'm like, so madam, what can I get you? And like, she's loving it. She's liking the kind of role play stuff. And so then we sit down, we just chat, we just get to know them, like having a good conversation with both of them. And her mother doesn't speak much English, so she's kind of translating stuff, and I'm speaking like really slowly so she can understand, and her daughter kind of like laughs about it, and so the vibe is really good. So then, like Jacob, I think he's pretty beat, like tired by this by this stage. Yeah. So Jacob leaves, and I'm with like the mother-daughter to go downstairs. But the mother stays upstairs, so I'm just downstairs with the daughter, and
Nice.
we're on this like round table, I'm sat next to her because she's so forward. She comes like in the middle part of the table. We're sitting leg to leg next to each other. I put my arm around her, and like she's like, oh, like my mother, I love her, but she like does my head in sometimes. So
Oh, did she want it bad?
she like we were proper vibing, and I was like, okay, this is fucking cool. However, now that I look back on it, I could have probably gone in for the kiss. There was a moment where I probably should have done it, but I didn't do it because in my mind, it was a timing thing. It felt like it just happened so quickly, but the steps were already there.
Right.
Can you go for the kiss too soon in that situation?
So, if it wasn't picked up by the mic, he asked, could you go for the kiss too soon in that situation? So, I would say there, especially because we're like really playing to win when you're not, you're traveling and you have no idea if you would ever see this girl again, right? So in that case, I would say absolutely not. I would say no way. And this actually takes me to a really good point, which is that a lot of the times I will end up making out with a chick by when her friend, so let's say it's a 2-set, and her friend now just like went up to the bar, or her friend is like talking to another guy or something, I will say something, it's like the secret mission frame, and I'll say something like, come here, kiss my cheek. And it's clearly because the friend is like looking away, right? I'll be like, come here, kiss my cheek. And I'll be like, come here, kiss me so your friend doesn't see. Kiss me while your friend's looking away. And then I'll fucking like go in for the makeout. It's great. And that's something too. It's like there doesn't need to be some like long-winded sort of like escalation ladder that you hit. But I do always love to do the cheek kiss first, and then sometimes I'll go to like kiss their cheek. But I never do like this, like the secret, like the sketchy sort of pull away and now like go for that makeout. I don't do that, right? So right there, when you had your arm around her, you could have been like kiss my cheek. And then she would have done it, and then you would have kissed her cheek and like kiss me before your mom comes back, and then like fucking made out with her. Yeah. And I can guarantee you would have made out with her.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that.
Well,
So-
now you know, and you had that experience, which it sounds like it was an awesome experience.
It was, and we're still in touch.
Were you gonna seduce the mother?
The mother wasn't very attractive.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter.
Not an attractive mother. Yeah, you should have been a good wing and taken one for the team there. Yeah.
So should I tell you how it ended?
Yes.
Okay. So then her mum is about to leave, and the daughter doesn't realize this. So I go upstairs to tell the mother to come and join us because the daughter was like, she wants her mum to join as well.
Sure.
And so I tell her mum to come down to join us, and mum like walks out. She's pissed. She's in a mood. So there's some kind of drama going on between them. And so I go back down to tell the daughter that, and she runs after the mum, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm listening to the music, I'm enjoying it. And then they both come back, but the vibe is like off. Like the mum's like in a moody disposition. So all I could do was like just give her something, and I said, look, I'm going back to my place. I'm gonna go like watch some comedy. Like, come join me. Like, take your mum home, and then like come join.
Yeah.
And so she was like, okay, send me the details. So she was still on that wavelength. But then later on, she was like, via text, she said, oh, I can't do that right now, but I like to meet again, or like let's keep in touch. That's what she said. So that's how we ended it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Very cool. I mean, that's great.
And she's flying back to Italy today, so that's why I can't really do anything until perhaps she comes back. So we'll see.
Yeah. I feel like here in Europe, it's just everybody's just always kind of bouncing around.
Yeah.
People are just always kind of going from country to country. I guess it's just like in the U.S. how people are, going to Miami all the time, and Austin and L.A., stuff like that. So I'm sure you have that with London as well. So yeah, I mean, hey, try to pursue it either way. I mean, the whole point of this is to also just be taking this all back to your own city, right? And so, obviously you're not gonna have that same London energy where it's all crazy and wild and there's just endless sets, but things like that still can happen there. And then now imagine like all the action that you took this weekend where it was your first time really going hard at cold approach. And now just imagine that where all these leads are up the street, or you see them out again, or whatever. I mean, that's like, I've had so many lays where it came from a girl that I had approached once, and she gave me the number and then ghosted me, but then I see her out again, or I just kind of see these chicks out, and then something happens, right? Then I end up actually pulling them because there's been some familiarity there. So, and that's a luxury you're not really going to have in like a giant city like London. It's probably rarely going to happen. So, yeah, man, that's good stuff. That's awesome. And then, the night game sessions were crazy. The night game sessions were wild. Do you want to talk about your experience in night game? Like just sort of how it all kind of went down and...
So what can I say is that I was a bit hesitant to do this, because I started analyzing, is this really worth going around, bothering people, this is not me, I don't like to bother people and all that. But having kind of quote being forced to do the approach because you're doing a boot camp, you invest in it, everybody's there, you have to do it. Being forced to do this over and over and over and over and over, it literally it changed my reality. It's I'm in a different, my life is different. Whatever was possible before or what was not possible before now is possible just because I'm forced to do these approaches over and over. So that was the biggest thing for me. I would never have gone, down because I live where we're gamed, but I would never have gone down and just spend 5 hours outside in the cold, just going after every chick I see and just try to say whatever. And at the end, it wasn't so successful for me. I didn't pull anyone, I didn't do anything. But then the next day we went to do the day game, and obviously I had a different confidence in me. And because you guys were here, I started approaching the day game, which is more like my environment. Because I don't drink, so I was not so crazy like a lot of girls were wanting just to be crazy, and me I was maybe more logical, and so it didn't work out for me the night game in terms of pulling. But then with that experience and doing that on the street during the day, which is more of my environment, I end up actually having nice conversation, getting numbers. Now I just got into 2 conversations with 2 amazing Asian girls, is my favorite. And,
yeah.
And so yeah, it's great because sometimes you have to throw the hat over the fence. And this boot camp was that for me. I knew that I had to do it in order to change something in my life.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot. And now I just need to keep going and keep throwing the hat over the fence. I don't know, hang out with the guys, commit to go out, with them. When they come to London, or even today, we were not doing the boot camp, but now I'm out and we're probably gonna do something. I still don't wanna do it.
Yeah.
Inside of me is saying fuck, but I threw that out over the fence, now I have to do it. And by having to do it, my reality changes.
Yeah.
And you were saying fuck today as well.
I was saying what?
You were saying fuck. I'm just saying we're not all immune to it. So we're about doing some approaches today, just myself and Aaron, and you'll probably see it come out later on the channel. But it took a while for Aaron to get warmed up. There was just he was just couldn't really hook and stuff like that. And then we kind of reset a little bit, just got the fundamentals down, and no one's immune to it. We're all human. We busted back out into the field, slowly but surely, a bit more investment for another girl, and then bang, 1 set hooks. Literally, I hope we can cut it this way, or however it's going to eventually come out on the channel.
Maybe I'll not even have the... Yeah. I won't even clip it. Maybe I'll run that as one video.
It's literally 1 set, bang, magnificent, gold. And then she dips, Aaron's literally within seconds onto the next set. Bang. It's the most real-time demonstration of momentum that you'll be able to see. It's just this slow burn, not happening, then bang, bang. And then there was even a few more after that, once we moved on. So it's just, student here was saying he doesn't want to do it right now. It's just everybody goes through it.
And can I say there's something on that also that came up to me between last night and today. Last night, after a whole weekend of being out in the cold, like forcing myself to, like I went to bed. I don't think I remember any recent time when I went to bed. I felt so satisfied, in bed. Like,
Oh, wow.
like I'm resting because I like went to like in war, like I'm like, and I slept so
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, I had this feeling, like very special feeling that I wouldn't ever had if I was staying in my reality, in my little circle, But then I realized something that this going through like approach after approach after approach after approach, the thing that says it's a number game, but yes, it's a number game, but it's something deeper than that. It's like, I remember this sentence from, this quote from Thomas Edison when they asked him how he persisted, like failing 10,000 times before finding the light bulb. And he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times or 10,000, I don't remember the number. Say it was a 10,000 steps process.
Oh, that's cool.
Likewise, it's like if I go out and think like I'm not failing, I'm just waiting for that number to hit. I'm
Yeah.
like the process is like I don't know what the number is, but it's a number. So it could be the first or second, like it happened with you guys today, or it can be the 100th. But if you do this like, 1 hour a day or 30 minutes a day, you're gonna hit that number, within a week for sure, but probably within the same day. So that's, for me, is empowering to think of, and like it gives you the motivation to go out and know that it's gonna happen if you just do the steps.
Yeah.
And the first failure, second failure, third, even 100th failure, it doesn't matter because it's just a step. It's not a failure. So that's something that came up to me.
I love that quote. I can't believe I've never heard that before. I thought you were going to say, when you started that sentence, I thought you were going to say the most cliche one that everybody says, which is like, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 lessons. Like there is no win-lose, there's only win-learn. That's where I thought that was going to go. I love that even more because it's like I've beat around that bush so many times, and that's a perfect way to say it. Because I have had so many nights where some of my most amazing game results, whether it was a lay with an insanely hot chick, a lay with a girl who I ended up seeing for years, a number from a girl who I saw for a year, like crazy stuff, have come on the back of a shit night out. A night where like, dude, I guess I just feel like I kind of have to do this. I like live right by these bars. It's Friday. I'm so dead. Let me just like go out and like make it happen. And so I love that, like, everything was just a step. It wasn't that one interaction. It was a 15-step process to get to that one interaction. That's so cool. And something that happened today, because we started to do the infields, we started to, I'm starting to do some approaches, and I wouldn't say like, it definitely didn't take that long, but there was just a few interactions where, for everybody watching, we're actually now on day 4 now at this point. This is like a bonus day, essentially, where we're all like meeting up after the boot camp. So there also was just, we rushed out of the Airbnb. There was also just kind of like a lot of exhaustion there, and it was just like, I'm really out here again, like really doing this. I mean, who knows? After these approaches today, I mean, I don't know, maybe over 100 sets this weekend, roughly. I don't know. I mean, you guys saw this weekend, we were all just fucking bang, 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 nonstop.
Yeah, I lost count of how many approaches I did. So combined, we've done like a shit ton.
Oh yeah, I mean, so many. So it's like, yeah, it took me just like a little bit where, yeah, I'm going in a little limp dick on a couple of them. Hey, excuse me. Hey, my energy's not really there. And then it's like, okay, something's kind of hitting. You know what really helped was actually the 2 chicks that were definitely not like the most attractive. But I met these 2 chicks over here where they're like from Ohio. And so now we're like shooting the shit about like Columbus or whatever. But just that moment where now I'm locked in with 2 women and we're having this interaction, this conversation. Now I leave that and it's kind of like, oh, okay, there's this new jolt of energy, right? There's this sort of like new thing where it's not all just about me and my fatigue and my whatever. It's like, oh, let's like really be a human with these girls, and it really sparks you up. Something I think that would be really worth covering, Jacob, go ahead and grab that real quick, is you were a very good example. You were a very good example of something that I talk about a lot with coaching. I say this all the time, and it's so true, and it happened with you, where I say, guys who have been doing game for years, you've been on and off for years now, and within 30 minutes of your boot camp, I'm able to see something that you've been doing that has been destroying your results.
Yeah.
And no one ever, had your friends ever told you this?
No, I love how you picked it up straight away.
Closer to your face.
I love how you like picked it up straight away and just able to like hit the nail on the head.
Immediately. And so that's the thing, is guys kind of have this idea with a lot of different things in life, like, oh, I'm gonna like figure this out on my own. I'm gonna figure this out on my own. Which you can, for many things you can, and some people that are really naturally talented, you definitely can. But that's the thing, is like, I've now worked with so many guys, I've done this so much myself, I just instantly saw, oh, you have such little approach anxiety and so much enthusiasm that you're actually going up and scaring girls. And you didn't realize, you're kind of framing it in your own mind, I bet, as like, oh, they love my like confidence. But you're actually kind of coming up and just speaking too abruptly, too quickly, startling them. And then today, those two girls literally eating the ice cream were like, ah! So you're still working on it. And that is going to be a massive mountain for you to climb. Because I do just have to like promise you, you'll never get results if you keep doing that.
Yeah, I know.
If you just want to keep
Sometimes I like revert back.
closer.
Sometimes I like revert back into it.
Yes.
What would you say is a good tip, like when I to like catch myself, like to just be able to like take a step back and then do the right approach afterwards?
So there's 4 levels of competency, right? So there's unconscious incompetence. You suck with women, you don't even know why, you just know that you do. Everyone else gets laid, I don't. That's who I am. Then you discover game. You start watching videos, you start hearing tips. Now you are consciously incompetent. Now you know, hey, I don't get laid at all, but it's because I don't do any approaches. My photos online are terrible. I don't speak louder. I know why now I suck. And now the phase you all need to be entering is conscious competence. So, in the way that I was joking with you yesterday about like getting something, what did I was gonna have you get tattooed on your hand?
In Elvish.
Something in Elvish. Maybe like women don't want to participate in their own seduction, some shit like that. One of my good go-tos. But from here on out, it's like you need to literally, as you're going out, be thinking to yourself, do not startle. And you actually did master it yesterday though, where you go up, you allow that space to occur before you actually make the open, you enter their reality, and now everything's smooth.
You know where I found the shift to be is like you feel it inside yourself and your energy. Like when I'm startling them, it's kind of like this tense energy. Like this kind of, as the energy is harder. Yeah. It's kind of like murky. It's kind of like a water that's like poison. Like not poison, but just for lack of a better word. But when I go in smoothly, it's kind of like a fresh water that's like a fresh energy that's just like calm.
Yeah. Yeah. And a big theme that came up this weekend as well was when you were talking about on Sunday how you went to bed Saturday night so like, oh my God, I feel like so much momentum, all this stuff. And then on Sunday you woke up and it was kind of all gone and you had to get it back, right? It took a little time to get it back. And that's a theme that we've all kind of talked about this weekend, is that quote of like, the rent is due every day.
I love that.
It's like you're starting every day at 0 again. And that's the mindset of like a real winner. Because even people that are trying to reach like financial success, it's like, bro, the type of grind you'll have when like homelessness is an option, that type of like a potential for you, like the rent, your landlord's like, hey, this is gonna be the 4th time you're late on rent. You don't make it, I'm literally evicting you tonight. The type of grind and drive you can have is like unprecedented. But then, I got a nice little cushion, I'm fine, I've got rent, I'm cool, and all of a sudden it all slows down. It's like you have to start every day at 0. And so, yeah, I mean, if you saw a few of those first approaches that I did today, you're not watching those and like, oh wow, Aaron's such a god at game. I had to pay my rent. It was due. So I had to get a couple little blowouts, a couple limp dick approaches where I know everything I did wrong. Oh, I did not go straight in front of them. I'm coming over to the side. I didn't project my voice enough. It's like, all right, let's go. Boom. Then I paid my rent and then everything was good. Wait, give it to my, they start fighting over it. Give it to me. Here, Marcus goes first and then you.
Okay.
Cool, yeah, so just on that point, I 100% agree. I felt that a lot. Even when I've done game in the past, I felt, oh shit, like the next day I've got 0 motivation to go out, but I made the decision to do it, so therefore I go and do it. And my frame of mind, in order to help me to do that, is literally get out of the house, go and take some steps. Once you get out of the house, you're now in a different realm. You've already taken the first big step. Now you can start taking further steps. And your first interaction doesn't have to be with a beautiful girl. It can be with, I don't know, it's just someone standing on the street. They're selling something, and you just spark up a conversation or a passing comment, and you get vibes off those people. And that's what happened to me today. I was vibing off like a whole bunch of people, and that's what I really like about game. It's like it's the reset, but it's knowing that this is what I did yesterday, so I can be fucking on fire, so I can do this shit, and I'm gonna do it again because I've got that confidence to do it, and I've got the results now to prove it. Just touching back on the experience thing, and not knowing if you're doing something right or wrong, and like you were saying, it's helpful to have someone observe your mistakes. So one of my mistakes was not having good vocal projection. And it's something that I was actually really surprised to hear, because I didn't realize I was too much in my shell. So having someone just tell me that off the bat, I saw the visible evidence when I was approaching. All my good approaches, I had really good vocal projection. And straight away, there's a hook. Like you can see by their reaction, they're already into you, like they're stopping, they're engaged. And then when you go in with kind of a half-assed, limp-dick approach, it doesn't come off well. And then you're either fighting a little bit, or it's already dead in the water.
Yep.
And the
First
fight.
impression.
Yeah.
First impression is fucked when you come in all like skewed. They can hear me. They can hear me. Yeah, it's good. It's fucked. First impression's everything. Yeah.
So then the final thing I was going to say was that this is in line with what Andrew Tate mentions when he's
Tate,
yeah.
Tate. Free Cobra.
Top G. So what he says is in line with what you're saying. Like if you want to start a business, do you go to like university for 3 or 4 years to hear a lecturer talk about the theory of business? Do you study the theory, or do you actually learn from the master who's built a business, a multi-million-dollar business? Do you learn off them? What are they going to teach you? What are they going to? They'll give you the foolproof method of what works. So it's a much more efficient and cost-effective way of doing it. So you're making that investment into someone like an Aaron, who's going to show you the right steps to improve your game drastically. So that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah. Jacob, do you remember what you were gonna say, or
What I was gonna say is coming off
close to the mouth?
What I was gonna say is coming off the back of like rent is due every day,
Uh huh.
and it's like, you know, you've had so much success, Aaron. So like in the past you must have had like these mad epic experiences that like feel like a god. But like when you're on that day in the morning,
Yeah.
like it's kind of like do you ever feel like, oh, I felt like a god, I'm the god now today, and it's like you kind of expect that. So you go in and maybe your approach is not as good as, or you're feeling a bit of anxiety or something. You still
Right.
have to build it back up.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so what's good is that I know now I've been at the level in the past. Oh, I actually never finished this, but I was at conscious competence for so long that I have now transcended oftentimes into the final level, the fourth level, which is unconsciously competent. So it's like, you don't even, we kind of were talking about this the other day. Like, I'll have a chick that I'm like making out with, and one of my wings will be like, how did you even what did you say to her or whatever? And I'm like, dude, I don't even fucking remember. Like, I don't even, what'd you say to get her to come home with you? Like, probably my slumber party routine. Like, I don't even remember, because it's just like, I'm just so in the zone. So, but the thing is like, I spent so much time in conscious competence that when I do a set and it does not go well, I know why. I am not confused. There is no set that goes badly that I go like, man, what kind of went wrong there? Now, maybe if a girl who I was very certain was going to hit me up and then doesn't, now that I do sometimes still get like, I do really have to think about this more. But even there, a lot of times I can look and go, well, this was early in the night, my game was trash. Oh, I was really tired at the end of the night, my game was trash. Oh, I definitely went in with a little too much hesitancy, so although it did get ramped up, maybe that first impression wasn't strong. So I can kind of look back at, something I could have done different. And this is such a tight wire for guys watching, and even for you guys to walk. It's a tightrope because on one hand, I'm such a big proponent of extreme ownership. You want to have that mindset of like, I could have done something better. And what could I have done better? And I'm going to try to like be better this next time. But also, girls are they're girls, right? And sometimes they're flaky. They're not in the mood to date. They're not at that place. And sometimes that is just truly what happened. So you guys also have to like walk on that side of the tightrope as well, to also let yourself off the hook sometimes if you do start feeling kind of like negative, especially when you really get your hopes up. You ever meet a chick and you're like, dude, it is on with her. Oh man, that is my wife. And then just straight up ghosting your ass and you're like, the fuck, dude?
I'm already in love with this Italian chick.
It's planning the wedding.
Don't do it to yourself.
Oh,
Don't do it to yourself.
she's gonna tear you to shreds.
Mine, Marcus, we can see a sparkle in your eyes.
Watch the,
So on that point, I want to say something that also came up for me.
yeah.
The fact that, the reason why I wasn't approaching, and I will probably still resist it,
Yeah.
is because basically I have this feeling of shame, of what when something goes wrong, the way I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna feel like, for example, when like the other day we were inside the shop, yesterday or the day before, yesterday.
Oh yeah, in the shop, yeah.
I tried to approach a girl in the shop, which she saw me and Marcus approaching other two girls 5 minutes before, and she was like, "Come on, I know what you are doing, I stopped it." And the shop was silent, right? And there were people around, and I started feeling basically shame of people are hearing what I'm doing, they're gonna think. And that really like put me off for like a few hours. That I couldn't do any approach. When you say to us like go and now is the time to ask for like a instant date, and I couldn't do it because I still had that experience right before. But what I realized is that I don't have to like give too much weight to those experiences, because the problem is that if I give too much weight to those experiences, then I'm gonna have very little experiences.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I realize now, that because I used to like insist, right? Like because I've been told, or I knew that it's good to like kind of try to don't just let go too easily, right? If they say try to like go for it a bit more. So I was doing that, but the problem is that when I insisted, I started ending up like feeling that shame, because all of a sudden somebody walk in and goes like, "Oh, leave this girl alone," I started feeling like this, like the bad guy, in the movie.
Yeah.
And that I hate that, and that can put me off long. So now what I realize is that like I just need to go, like I was saying before, like to increase the numbers of approaches. And when a girl is not receptive, fuck it, I just walk off. I walk away, and that's it. But then you do find many times receptive girls.
Yep.
So you don't have to force it too much, It's like, that's what my bigger realization. It's like I just go for it, something easy. If you're receptive, good. If you're not receptive, good. Move on, and that's how I think I'm gonna win, just by keep doing the approaches and just not being focused too much on the failures, quote, on the unreceptive ones. They are part of the steps. So that was the step. Now it's gone. Now next one. That's what came up for me.
Right. And one of the things that I just really always like to harp on, and that I need guys to understand, is I always say, it's like, what are your intentions with the women that you're talking to, right? Your intention is to take her out on a date. You're going to pay for that date. You're going to take her out for a nice night of fun. Who knows what she's got going on in her life, where she really needed that night of fun. She loved the companionship. You're ideally going to have, consensual adult intercourse with her, right? And you're going to, please her in that way. Oh, you hear that?
What happened to vocal projection?
And yeah. So So ideally you're gonna do that. That's gonna be a good time. Maybe you're gonna even have her, stay the night or whatever, and you're gonna become her, her hookup, and maybe she wants that in her life. It's like these are the intentions. I mean, that Italian girl, dude, if she was up for it, you'd probably pay for the two of you to go on a vacation. I mean, when you start really getting into a chick, it's like, look at just how much we want to like give to women. So because the reason why people in society, I don't even blame society. I don't even let's say a guy were to come up to us. He sees a spam approaching and he goes like, hey man, leave the girls alone. I would not even blame him because of how fucked so many men are. He doesn't know these are guys actually trying to learn how to be calibrated. He doesn't know that, Aaron ranted to Jacob about empathy all weekend and putting yourself in the woman's shoes. So because a lot of men are such evil little fucks and do have negative intentions, then I actually have empathy for even the white knight sometimes actually, who tries to step in and whatever. So what I'm saying is you leave that shop knowing, not that woman. Let's say a guy had said something to you. Don't approach anymore, bro. Your worst fear, right? This is a bad guy. Everybody, bad guy. Look at him, bad guy, right? It's they are just have to generalize sometimes that men talking to younger chicks, a lot of them do have nefarious intentions. And so sometimes people want to step in. So leaving these interactions that could feel negative if it ever did happen, and just knowing my intentions are good. So I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to keep trying to just give. Go ahead.
And on that, that other girl in the shop, she was receptive, and she was also having fun with it as well. She didn't take it in a negative way. So it's very rare that that's going to happen, that you're going to get, someone confronting you about it.
And to be clear, that wasn't just a bystander. He had approached the woman, who then said I know what you're doing or whatever. So that's fair, right? And even in that, it's always just brush it off. Keep everything lighthearted, right? It's like how you said your buddy said you can get away with anything with a smile, right? So if she said that to me, I'd be like, you caught me. So are you sure you still don't want to go out sometime? She'd be like, get out of here. Yep. Versus I wasn't, and now her guard's up too. It's that's gonna rub off on her.
However she feels, however you feel, she feels.
Yes.
So the other aspect to that is also own the reality and the truth of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So me and James, we spoke to these two girls, two Christian girls.
Oh, okay.
And he came up and he was like, do you guys know anywhere to get drinks around here or some shit? And straight away they were like, well, today's a Sunday, you guys should be drinking right now during the day. And in reality, we're not big drinkers anyway. But the approach that we had at the time was just to continue with the vibe and just make a joke around it, which was cool. They were very receptive. But on reflection, James and I were talking about it, and I was suggesting that actually we should have just owned it and said, look, I don't even drink anyway. This is my reality. This is who I am. And then they may have questioned, well, why are you talking about drinks then?
Right.
But then it doesn't matter, because I'm being authentic to who I am, and so is James. So that would come across anyway. And just finally, on the girl in the shop, again, she was receptive and cool with it. And you can just be honest and say, look, I found that girl attractive, and I find you attractive too. So you can always end it on a positive way, no matter the outcome.
So yeah, there's a couple things there. Firstly, having the fellas around. So obviously I'm assisting, and me and Marcus went into the set, and even afterwards, I'm like, I felt it was kind of plateauing there. And I'm like, what could we have done differently? And having someone immediately in your vicinity, or someone like Aaron, or even another student, just as a sounding board, and then we analyze afterwards, you're not going to be able to get that in real time on your own when you're going around. So having experiences like this are inherently valuable. And having Marcus say, just on this topic, that you've got to own it, he was like, look, he was like to me, bro, you don't even drink that much, so why did we stick on that for so long? And I'm like, dude, you're actually like totally right. I have no idea. He's like, you went in too deep. And I was like, yeah, I really did. He's like, we should have just like fucking cut the bullshit and be like, look, to be honest, look at my cross. I'm actually like a Christian dude as well. Like, we just thought you guys were like kind of cute and we needed an in to like talk to a pair of lovely ladies like yourself. Well, what are you guys up to right now? Blah, blah, blah. Fuck it, come on a double date or some shit. Just to turn it around, put the spice back into the mixture. But it was just like, we kept on this one tangent. Eventually it petered out. Okay, we're going this way. You guys go hit the nearest evening mass session and cop yourself a church session. So yeah, there's two things there, like having a sounding board and if it comes up or whatever, or you needing to spice the interaction up or turn things around, just own what you're doing. And more often than not, girls are going to appreciate that authenticity and step into that reality.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to call this out for a second. So pass that back to Marcus just for a moment. So I want to talk about this. This is funny. So I am 95% certain that there was a boot camp. It could have been one-on-one. I have a serious feeling. I can't imagine two normal guys standing there plotting to take our girls. We're watching them plot. I see them pointing, doing kind of what I do to you guys, like fucking the black guy. So if anybody knows like a black pickup coach, very short hair, maybe even bald, who's running a boot camp this past weekend here in London, tell him he can fuck off and die. Because I saw him plotting to try to like take our girls, talking about it to his, it looked like a student. I really get that vibe. I think that's what it was. And then, because then sure as shit, we're seeing that happen, okay? And then we're grinding with the girls. And I'm already getting like somewhat protective over them because, as I'd said to you guys, the Western dance floor is dead. It's like you can't go to a fucking bar or a club anymore and have like an actual like full dance floor of people just like grinding on each other. I guess maybe if it's like in a really ratchet bar or something, but it used to be like, you know, just tons of like whiter people, I guess, like kind of like grinding on each other and like having fun and stuff. So this dance floor was a few people dancing and then just tons of chode guys looking for girls, and then every 1 to 2 minutes making their way from this part of the dance floor to that part. So there's a constant train going back. I mean, it was absolutely absurd. And so I see this guy talking to his student, and I'm just going to call it that. That's what it was. I know that's what it was. And so they're talking about our girls and looking at us, and he's like whispering to his guy, whatever. And then, of course, then full confirmation, I think, black guy comes in and comes between me and then my girl and leans into the set and is just talking directly to the girls. And I just, without saying anything to him, I just start like boxing him out. I'm just like, maybe I was like, we're good, man. Like, we're good. Maybe I said that.
And that was an amazing instant reaction that you did there, which I witnessed. And that was really good just to witness that. It was like straight away, like you were standing your ground.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then as he just starts kind of like giving up, he is like talking shit to me. He is like saying shit, but I'm not gonna get face to face with him. I'm not trying to get in a fight. I don't care the outcome. I'm not fighting somebody like that. So I'm just like fucking boxing him out. And then he starts yelling like, They don't even like you. They don't even like you that much. They don't even like you, like that shit. And then he does go back to that guy again. So, and then they kind of like disappear in the distance. And now I keep kind of like looking around like, fuck, this dude's gonna like hit me from behind or something. But yeah, it was an absolute failed attempt. It was, it was pathetic and weird. There was plenty of other girls that were there. I think, what did he think? He was gonna be like super alpha and amog us or something. It failed. I am unamogable. So, back the fuck off. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open this video up with a little bit of context first. So I have no idea where you're gonna end up watching this. This might be only inside of my mastermind. This might be on Facebook. This might end up being on the channel, but I'm about to make a very solid strategic day game video that I plan on putting a lot of editing into and making it just really well done. And it's early in the morning, so I thought I need to get into the headspace first of day game. Like, I'm not even, you wake up, you have your coffee. I'm just not thinking about day game. I'm thinking about work. So
I'm going to challenge myself right now to maybe for about 10 minutes or so do a day game dump where I just spill a bunch of wisdom, a bunch of knowledge, maybe some experiences from day game. And for any of you watching that actually go and do day game, this will probably be incredibly valuable to you. So let's begin. The number one reason why you struggle to go out and do day game is twofold. Number one, it's laziness. And number two, it is not so much approach anxiety as it is this deeply rooted belief that what you're doing is weird. It's that what you're doing is socially going to lead to you being outcasted from the tribe. It's that when you see this woman at Target, instead of being excited about what could happen and all the possibilities there, instead you just fear everything that could go wrong. And you just ultimately think that it's weird. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird, right? You can go the traditional route. Most people, I haven't looked at the statistics in a while, but most people still meet the person that they marry through social circle, through friends of friends, or through the workplace. I'm sure online dating is up there very high as well, which, as many of you know, has become a complete cesspool for most guys. I can't tell you how many dudes I know that are actually like pretty good looking guys. They've got good pictures, their bios are fine, and like they just can't, they're just swiping for months and not really getting shit. So day game to me is a little fucking crazy. I don't want to say it's weird. I want to say it's a little bit crazy. As I've always said, you are Neo in the Matrix, right? You are this being that has been unplugged from polite society, and you are now wandering around and you are viewing everything for what it actually is. And you have stepped outside of your sim, right? The game The Sims. You have stepped outside of your simulation, and you are now operating in a way that you want. It's like as if you've been on autopilot your whole life. Somebody hits the switch, you're not on autopilot anymore, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have freedom. I can actually go for the things that I want. I can do the things that I want. And so when you've stepped outside of the simulation, you're now Neo and you've become unplugged from this matrix. Well, now you walk into the Whole Foods, you go to the mall, you go to the busy area of your town, wherever you go, and these women that are walking around, you can perform alchemy. You can take one of these women that you would have otherwise never known. She would have walked by you as a stranger. That is all she is in your simulation, is she is a stranger that walks by. She's a background character. If you're watching Batman talking to Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, and there you see some people scrambling around in the background, that's what she was going to be. But now you approach her and you turn her into Anne Hathaway. You turn her into Catwoman. You turn her into now a part of your plot. And it's a beautiful thing. You turn her into a part of your plot, and ideally, you end up hooking up with her, going on a date with her, maybe even just becoming friends with her. Maybe she just ends up like, oh yeah, I'm not really like interested in this guy, but like, sure, I'll like invite him out with me and my friends or something. And now you've got friends, right? That's another thing. People are always like, oh, I don't want to get friend zone. I'm like, oh, how many times, like, you know, how much you've been late in the last year? Oh, like once. Oh, like you got like a lot of friends or something? No, I don't really have any friends. Get friend zoned. Who gives a shit? Make friends. Go like do something. There's a guy in the mastermind right now. A couple days ago, he hooked up with some chick, and then she like invited him out to some rave. He's like, oh, I'm not really sure if I should go because I'd rather just kind of hook up with her. I'm like, go, like meet all of her friends, and who knows what connections are gonna happen there. And now, here's the deal. All of this, a lot of game, it receives a psychopathic diagnosis or a narcissistic view by people outside of it. So even what I'm saying now, oh, you're turning this girl into a part of your plot and this and that. Here's the key. You are going to give her All right, I teach guys to pay for dates. All right, pay for the fucking date. Be a man. Pay for the date. Oh, I'm really low on money. I don't think I should, whatever. Take her to the park. Take her to ice cream. Take her to the bar that you know, the happy hours from 6 to 8, and the beers are $2. Whatever. You can afford something. And if you are absolutely broke, again, the park. And go steal a sandwich from somewhere and be like, hey, we're going to go split a sandwich at the park. All right? So you're taking care of this date. So if all goes according to plan, and you've turned this woman into a part of your plot, well, what are you doing now? The narcissism here, the psychopathy, right? The evil that is game. You're going to take this woman who is maybe been really lacking connection. I actually just went to a Teal Swan event, and like, I can't even explain to you how many women were talking about how lonely they are. And I've said this for years. I have a video from 5-6 years ago called "Women Are Lonely," and dude, I just have like I have my thumb on the pulse like you just wouldn't believe about just everything. And all of these women at this Teal Swan event were talking all about how lonely they are, and they've gotten a little bit older and they don't have anybody in their life, or even they're younger and they can't seem to connect with people and find people. So these women, and a lot of them were beautiful, by the way. A lot of them were beautiful. Can they get laid? Yeah, they can go get laid. Any woman can just go stand at a bar, make eye contact with a few guys, and get laid, all right? It's not about that. They want real connection. So if you're going to go out and turn these women into your plot, into parts of your plot, right? What are you really doing to them that's so evil and psychopathic? You're taking them on a date. You're ideally making them come. Ideally, you're giving them a massage. Ideally, they were going to be bored on this Wednesday or Thursday night, but now they're watching a movie with you. A lot of people really start to go crazy when they don't have physical touch for a long period of time. So now maybe you guys are just cuddling on the couch, and that's feeling really good for her. It's feeling really good for you. You guys are sort of symbiotically just providing a role for one another. And then again, maybe the sex is incredible. Maybe the sex is like exactly what she needed. Maybe the date, maybe the conversation. Share wisdom, share your knowledge of the world, share who you are. Give. Like, come from a place where you understand that the more you give, the more you're going to receive. And so whenever I have clients I work with one-on-one, and we're talking about sort of this idea of it being weird and strange, because everybody has this subconsciously. I always say, let me ask you a question. If everything goes well with the next woman you approach and you start texting, if everything goes well, are you going to, I want to make sure I use the right words here for the platform that I end up uploading this to. Are you going to, first of all, steal money from her? When she goes to the bathroom, she leaves her purse, are you going to steal money or her phone out of her purse? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Are you going to beat her up? Do you plan on like beating this woman up? No, of course not. What are you talking about? Do you plan on assaulting her in a way that she would never want? No, oh my God, I would never do that. Well, guess what? There are tons and tons and tons. Out of 7 billion, there's millions of men out there that would want to do all of these things to this woman. Millions. And guess what they don't do? They don't do game. They don't do cold approach. They don't follow Aaron Alexander's channel. They don't follow Aaron Alexander's methods. They are not going up with indirect openers, having good conversation, starting to tease a little bit, being a bit playful, and then asking a girl if she's been to your favorite date location. And when she says she hasn't or she has, telling her that you guys should grab drinks on Thursday. And again, you're just giving. That's not what's happening. So of all of the men that could have come into her world at that moment, you're probably the best one. You literally, maybe by approaching a woman and going on several dates with her, hooking up with her a bunch of times. In an alternate universe, if that wouldn't have happened, maybe she would have met some creep from online who does one of those evil things to her. Maybe that's the case. We don't know. So the point is that when your intentions are good, then you can do no wrong. Aaron Alexander, 2024. When your intentions are good, you can do no wrong. Can you make mistakes from time to time?
can you have a weak moment, or maybe you didn't have it in you to tell a girl straight up, like, yeah, I don't want to be monogamous, and then you end up kind of dragging her around for a little bit? And can you make mistakes from time to time? Sure. But can't we all? Can't we all, right? So, again, literally the next time, because what you focus on will grow, right? Where your focus goes, that is what grows. And so the next time you're going to go out and do day game, as I said at the very, very beginning of this, one, you're just lazy. One, you're lazy. You're hopelessly addicted to your phone. Even right now as I'm talking, you probably haven't even made it this far in this video. I'm probably talking to nobody because you're probably like, oh my God, I got to close. I don't even have YouTube Premium, so I got to close this so I can hurry up and get back to Instagram and look at Lena Belfior's fucking titties. I know that's what you're all doing. So one, you're just lazy. So go leave your house. And then as you're out there, go, that's what I love too. And that old school, when Mystery, he went on Conan O'Brien, and Mystery leads with, which for the mainstream, again, they just can't comprehend it because they're all just so, But Mystery says, you know, first thing I tell guys, leave the house. And Conan clowns him, right? Oh, if I would have thought of that, I would have thought to like leave the house. Ha 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 ha, leave the house. Because nobody knows, nobody understands how many men are just rotting away in their home. And maybe you watching this right now, maybe you're rotting away in your home. So you got to wrap that up. And then you got to go out into the world and program your mind with this idea that all you're going to do is give, give, give. Dude, these next women that I talk to, some of them are going to reject me. And why are they going to reject me? Because they're already seeing somebody. Because they just are not in a place where they want to get talked to right now. Because they're having a bad day. Because they're not horny. Because they're in an actual hurry. The rejection, at a high level, you want to take personal responsibility for it and keep tweaking your game. But for most of you, the better mindset is it has nothing to do with you, and you just keep going. You've got to have quick amnesia. Amnesia. Quick. Like, just, I forget and I move on. I forget and I move on. All right? I've had so many beautiful, beautiful interactions, stories, situations, girlfriends, things, just experiences with women, whether it was a same night lay or it was a 1 year long girlfriend, that came at the end of 8 rejections at the club, 10 rejections at the club, the whole night out at the club. Right? Like, that's how it goes. You keep going. And so many of you, you give up before you allow that bulletproof armor, that thick skin, to just keep building up. You just give up too quick. And that's think about it this way, right? For every rejection, I always say this, right? For every success and every failure are equal bricks in your mansion. So you think that you're building this castle or this mansion. You think you're building it with just success. But no, it's all been built. All the walls, all the pillars, everything have been built with your successes and your failures. All of it. And so if you pull out the failures, if those didn't happen, then the whole thing would crumble. I have learned far, far more from my failures. I have had some brutal failures in the field that still haunt me to this day, where it drives me crazy. Some of the bags that I have fumbled in life, of course, but just even in the field, women that I came really close to sleeping with, or threesomes I came close to, or little things that just slipped through my fingers, and I was able just within minutes or within hours or days to look at it and go, if you just would have done this, if you just would have done this, it would have worked. And in life, I think the people that succeed the most are the ones who get angry enough by their failures that they do everything in their power, and it becomes internalized, that they do everything in their power, that the next time that happens, they do not fumble the bag. They just don't do it. And so if each of these rejections is the brick, if each of these rejections is like giving you +1 points in armor, but you don't know it because you don't feel it, right? Maybe the armor doesn't really give you much more confidence. You don't even know that it's really building up, but it's giving you +1. And then you guys are just giving up
so quickly, long before that armor even has the time to build, and you're able to actually get so careless, have so much freedom, have so much momentum, you're able to have all of that, that you actually just jump into the field, you jump into these approaches, you're carefree, you're having a good time, you're making hard eye contact, you're having a good tone, and you say to this girl, what are you doing after? What are you doing right now? What are you doing after this? I don't really know, whatever. We should get the fuck out of here. Let's go. And go do what? Let's go to my place. Let's go play Jenga. I got Jenga, I got wine. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Okay, I'm gonna give me just a minute here. Let's go talk to your friend. Let's go talk to your friend. Hey, you're friends with Jessica? Oh, what's your name? Courtney? Hey, we're gonna head out of here. And you're just going for it, and you're smooth, and you've already been brutally rejected, so it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So I think I'll probably wrap up there. Maybe. I don't know. Should I keep going? Like I said at the beginning of this, I want to make this other video. But this is a golden piece of content, so maybe I'll keep it going. I think I've said what I need to say for now. If you made it this far in the video and you want to get good at Daygame, you want to actually be able to go out into the world, meet women, and turn them into your girlfriend, turn them into girls that you're sleeping with, actually have all the experiences that I just talked about, and actually learn and get good at this, get proficient at this, because it is a superpower. I'll include an application button down below, and you guys can apply to do coaching with me. Maybe I'll include Thrive Daygame down below as well. But all right, thank you guys for tuning in, wherever this ends up going. Peace.